So here is the latest Second Sight limited edition. On the back, as usual, is a list of all the disc extras and what's in the package. Here you'll see that this is a rather large edition as it houses a huge book. It's got a simple design that really sticks to the aesthetic of the film. This is the three contents inside. First up we have the disc case, which has got a fold out of the car in one of the main sequences, and the 4K disc and the Blu Ray. Here we have 6 various art cards, some of the new artwork from the disc and some scenes within the film as well. Here is the book that I mentioned earlier. This thing is huge and I'm going to take my time going through it, which I recommend you do as well. Inside here we have a list of the contents, all the various articles and essays that are going on here. Plenty to get through. I've read the first one so far. I still have many to go through. There's plenty of behind the scenes pictures, scenes from the film, quotes, essays, various texts to delve into here. As you can see me as I flick through it, there are lots to go on, as well as the acknowledgements, and that's the book along with the extras for It Follows. New from Second Sight in one of their limited edition 4K sets is It Follows, one of my favourite movies this century. It's a terrific piece of filmmaking with a very clear analogy and a very subtle sense of horror that is foreboding, creepy and infectious. Sitting down to watch this, I'm always surprised by the mood that's created here. Now it's part with the cinematography, with the story and with a wonderful soundtrack that just makes the hairs in the back of my neck stand up all the way throughout this film. The story is all about Jay, a young woman in a world which is seemingly almost devoid of adults. You don't really see much of them. We're all seeing it within the world of the kids here. She is dating a man. Everything kind of comes to a head when she has sex with him. He drugs her, and when she wakes up, he tells her that he has passed something on to her. There is some strange entity now coming for her. If it kills her, it will go back to him, and the only way to get rid of it is to pass it on.
You can get rid of it, okay? Just sleep with someone as soon as you can. Just pass it along. If it kills you, it'll come after me. Do you understand?
And she's a little bit dubious of this until she starts to feel that creeping dread of something always coming towards her, always moving at a steady pace towards her, trying to get a hold of her. It's a wonderfully simple plotline. I'm surprised it hadn't been done before, but the way it's done here and how effective it is just marvellous. There are moments in this where the camera is doing this 360 revolving kind of effect where it's terrifying. It gives the idea of this expansive space with people where you're just never settled. The movie never gives you a chance to sit, relax and breathe. You're always waiting on that something, that strange figure, the one that just doesn't quite fit in with the rest of the crowd, coming out of nowhere to get a hold of our main character. And I think it's the atmosphere and that sense of dread that just is shocking. The movie and its allegory is quite simply like, sexual assault, STDs. It's very apparent on there. It's taking accountability for your choices in life and how you choose to move through it, and the ramifications that could have far-reaching effects within your life if you decide to do that. But Maika Monroe as Jay is just phenomenal. She has a strength that's almost wrapped within a fragility. I know that's against odds, but there does seem to be that element within her that you feel like she has the guts to stand up to this, the ability to figure out what's going on and somehow try to retaliate, but at the same time I always fear for her and the choices that she's making, that something is going to happen. This is just a wonderful movie with some standout horror elements as well.
See, Everything's okay.
A lot of this is talked about the storyline and the allegories that are in it, but in a simple structure, in a simple way of filmmaking, there is created some wonderful segments of atmosphere. The moment at the start where there is a break in at her house and she's moving through the kitchen area is filled with tension and dread and suspense, and it's wonderfully put together. And again, that score really highlights those terrifying moments that are within the film. There is, of course, visual horrific elements that happen throughout it, but for me it's about the characters, it's about the mood and atmosphere. Again, the wonderful score that just permutates everything within this film, and it just comes across as one of those perfectly made nightmarish films. And at 101 minutes, it's so encapsulating. It's one of those movies that just almost mesmerises and hypnotises me as I watch it. I'm captivated, I'm drawn in, and I'm enjoying the tale as well as anybody can while being terrified out of their wits. As always, I was super excited when Second Sight announced this. Along with The Guest, these were two of my favourite movies this century, and I was super excited to get this limited edition set. Now let's jump in and have a look at the extras. Here we are in the disc for It Follows. Let's go into the extras. We have an audio commentary by Joshua Grimm, a second commentary by Danny Lee and Mark Yankovic. Then we have Chasing Ghosts, an interview with actor Keir Gilchrist, who plays Paul in the film. It's 19 minutes and 9 seconds. He's talking about, acting, how he kind of got his first role in Dead Silence, how he got the role here, his thoughts on this low budget production, how they kind of kept themselves busy in between takes. We have Following, an interview with actor Olivia Lucardi, which is 11 minutes 57 seconds, talking about how this was her first role, how excited she was when she got it, getting there, not understanding certain aspects of it, but just kind of discovering the film as they were making it. We have It's in the House, an interview with producer David Kaplan, which is one of my favourite talking heads. It's 22 minutes 31 seconds. He talks a lot of aspects about having to change the ending, how they had to rework it, getting some of the actors, selling the film on just the director and the script and without any stars attached. Lots of information, some good anecdotes as well. Composing a Masterpiece, an interview with composer Rich Vreeland, which is 12 minutes 57 seconds. This is where he talks about this being his first feature film soundtrack and how he had to fight to get certain aspects in. Personally, I think he did a great job because it's fantastic. A Girl's World, an interview with production designer Michael Perry. This is 24 minutes and 5 seconds, and he talks about being out of the game for a little bit due to an injury, getting back in, reading the script, talking to the director, and almost getting put through a kind of test of references before he got the job. We've got It Follows, The Architecture of Loneliness, which is a visual essay, which is 11 minutes 2 seconds, talking a lot about Detroit, about suburbanism, about the houses and how they were built to last, and the monotonous nature of these suburbs and how that affects the film. And that's the extras for It Follows. So there we have it. It Follows is out now on Second Sight Films. You can pick up the limited edition Blu-ray like I went for because, hey, I love this movie, I want the best edition. Or if you haven't seen it and you just want to pick up the film and get the on-disc extras, you can pick up the standard 4K and Blu-ray now. I would say if you haven't seen this, pick it up. You will not be sorry. I promise you this is an effective horror movie. It's terrific. It has great rewatchability, great characters, setting, mood, terrific score. Everything about it is perfect. This is a perfect film with a perfect package to go with it that highlights all the strengths that this film has. You need to get this one. I would love to know your thoughts on It Follows. Let me know in the comment box below whether you loved it, hated it, fell somewhere in the middle. Give me your opinion and how many times you've revisited it and what you think of it now, almost 10 years after it was released. As always, there's more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to the Patreon membership program and manvfilm.com, all ways in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.